The first thing Anya noticed was the silence. The Congo Basin was never silent, but here, on the periphery of the poachers' camp, the jungle held its breath. The usual chorus of birds and insects was severed, replaced by the low crackle of a distant generator and the occasional gut-churning laughter of men who had forgotten the meaning of quiet. For Anya, a zoologist who spoke the language of gorillas more fluently than that of humans, the silence was a scream. "This is a fool's errand," Ben Carter muttered, his fingers tracing the spine of a rock sample with a geologist's innate tenderness. His reputation was a pile of slag buried under a mine collapse in Chile that hadn't been his fault, but the world needed scapegoats, not explanations. "We're risking our lives for a fairy tale, a gorilla that leads you to diamonds?" "It's not a fairy tale, it's geography layered with memory," Anya replied, her voice a low whisper that barely disturbed the air. She adjusted the strap of her pack, her movements economical. "His name is Mosi. His troop has migrated past the kimberlite pipe for generations. The knowledge is in the paths they walk. He's the only living map." The third member of their trio, Lena, said nothing. She simply watched the camp through high-powered binoculars, her face a mask of cool assessment. Lena was logistics, a symphony of planning and motion. She had calculated their ingress, their window of extraction, and the 17 things that could go wrong. She was the reason they were here, undetected, while 18 armed men drank homemade liquor 50 yards away. "The holding pen is on the north edge," Lena finally stated, her voice devoid of inflection. "He's separate from the others. They have him caged, heavy chain link." She handed the binoculars to Anya. "Your move, Dr. Petrova." Anya's breath caught. Through the lenses, Mosi was a dark, powerful silhouette in the gloom. He wasn't pacing like a trapped animal. He was sitting, still as a mountain, his intelligent eyes observing his captors with a disdain that felt profoundly human. She saw the old scar on his brow, a silvered line she remembered from her field studies 2 years prior. He was older now, heavier with wisdom. Ben shifted uncomfortably. "So, what's the plan? You walk up and ask him to kindly follow us to untold riches?" "Something like that," Anya said, already moving. Her approach was a slow, deliberate performance. She moved not as a predator, nor as prey, but as a part of the landscape. When she was close enough to see the deep, thoughtful pools of Mosi's eyes, she stopped. She didn't speak words. She began a series of soft, rumbling vocalizations from the back of her throat, a greeting, a statement of non-threat, a question. Mosi's head tilted. A low, responding rumble vibrated in his chest. "You are the leaf woman, the one who listens." "I am," Anya conveyed through a series of gentle gestures and sounds. "These men are bad. The ground here is bad. We go to the good ground, the high ground." "The shining stones," Mosi rumbled, his meaning clear. He understood the value humans placed on the cold, clear things buried near his ancestral feeding grounds. "The men want the shining stones. They hurt for them." "We will not hurt," Anya promised, her heart hammering against her ribs. "We will make the men go away." The negotiation was delicate, a dance of trust and shared purpose. Meanwhile, Ben and Lena worked. Ben, using his disgraced but brilliant understanding of earth and structure, identified the weakest point of the cage's anchor, a concrete footer poured hastily over a tree root. He applied a minimal charge from the plastic Lena had provided. It wasn't about destruction, it was about precise failure. Lena synchronized the distraction. A small timed firecracker bundle she'd placed near the generator erupted in a shower of sparks. The camp's fragile silence shattered into shouts and confusion. As the poachers scrambled toward the noise, Ben's charge blew with a muffled thump. The corner of Mosi's cage jerked upward, the chain link peeling back just enough. "Now," Lena whispered into her calms. Anya gestured. Mosi did not need to be told twice. He flowed out of the cage, a shadow of immense power, and fell in beside Anya as if they had always been a pair. They moved back toward the tree line, a zoologist and a living secret. But a poacher, a young man with wide, fearful eyes, had broken from the group to retrieve a forgotten rifle. He saw them. He raised his weapon. Time seemed to fracture. Anya froze, her body instinctively shielding Mosi's. Ben, standing closer, acted without thought. He roared, not a word, but a raw, primal sound, and hurled the only weapon he had, the heavy, unyielding kimberlite rock he'd been fidgeting with all night. It was a terrible throw, landing feet short, but the sudden, unexpected movement made the poacher flinch. His shot went wide, tearing through the leaves above their heads. That single second of distraction was all Lena required. Her suppressed pistol coughed once. The poacher dropped, clutching his leg. The three humans and the gorilla melted into the jungle. The spell of silence was broken, and now the jungle welcomed them, its sounds covering their retreat. Hours later, deep in a safe zone Mosi had led them to, they rested. The first light of dawn filtered through the canopy, painting everything in hues of gold and green. Mosi gestured toward a narrow, almost invisible game trail leading up into the mist-shrouded mountains. "The path," he rumbled to Anya, "the way to the shining stones. It is yours." Anya looked from the gorilla to Ben, who was staring at his hands as if seeing them for the first time, and to Lena, who was calmly cleaning her weapon, her job complete. She turned back to Mosi. "No," she said, aloud for her team's benefit, but signing the meaning for him. "The path is yours. The secret is yours to keep. Our job was to make sure it stayed that way." Ben let out a long, slow breath. He looked at the map they had risked everything for, a living, breathing creature now rolling onto his back to scratch it against the moss, utterly at peace. He thought of the cold, dead diamonds at the end of that path and found, to his immense surprise, that he had no desire to see them. The weight he felt lifting from his shoulders was worth more than any stone. The real treasure, it turned out, wasn't a mine. It was the quiet redemption found in a jungle dawn, and the profound intelligence in the eyes of a creature they had chosen to protect rather than plunder.